This is Linnea, and you're listening to Without Your Head, which I've done in a lot of movies. Have a good day, and stay scared.
All right, and welcome to Without Your Head Horror Radio, the station of decapitation. I'm Nasty Neil.
That would make me Terrible Troy.
And tonight we're joined by three guests. It's very late for them, all the way from the UK. The mad minds here behind Good Tidings, which we're going to be talking about. We have a writer, producer, and Santa, Stu Jopia.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. Producer.
Thanks for coming on.
Yes. Producer, writer, and Santa, Giovanni Gentile.
Hey, guys.
Hello. And director, producer, and editor. He's not a Santa. Stuart Bedford.
Hello.
Hello. So,
always need one non-Santa, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You can't have all three Santas. Overload.
He was too small to be the Santa, you see. We needed someone bigger.
Yeah.
So he was a little on the small side, so it just couldn't fit.
Now, we've seen Good Tidings, but for the some people who haven't seen it yet, can you guys give them an idea of what the movie's about?
Stewie, do you want to go with that one?
Sorry, could you say that again? I got a little bit broken up there.
Yeah, just give everyone an idea of what Good Tidings is about.
Okay, so Good Tidings it's a sort of 70s style exploitation movie which involves three psychopathic Santas versus a group of homeless people living in an abandoned courthouse. So there's quite a lot in the mix. So we're kind of, basically we're pitting Christmas against the poor, which is kind of one of the kind of commentaries that we're trying to make with it. So yeah, it's a siege style exploitation movie, very John Carpenter. So you can expect plenty of kills. A lot of corridor stuff. And I would say that pretty much sums it up.
Mm-hmm. Now, why did you pick the homeless for like the heroes of the movie?
When we were sort of coming up with the kind of overall concept, we wanted to, not go down the same sort of route of having, teens in trouble, teen
Which
angst.
I like a lot about, yeah.
Wanted to obviously, we love movies with social commentary in, and we think at the time, when we were writing it, there was a lot of homelessness, happening in the news where we were in the UK. And, we just thought of these, how terrible would it be, for people who are obviously on the streets, and they've sort of pulled themselves together in this courthouse and, pit them against these evil Santas who are basically, coming to basically kill them. So we thought, what better to have some characters that you can kind of really, really get into and sort of feel for more than, not saying we don't feel for the young, but a lot of these movies, they do silly things and, there's kind of silly reasons for them being there. And we just wanted to add something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. And I think that totally works because you do actually care for the characters. And it is refreshing to see, like you said, people that aren't in their teens or early 20s and that aren't just fodder to get killed. They're actually, real characters. And I like that each of, which I thought was good, each of the homeless people had different reasons why they were homeless. Like the one you could see obviously had drug problems, and the one just was in the war, and there's different reasons, which I thought really added a lot to the movie. And all the actors in it are very real. Like, what were you looking for when you cast the movie?
When we obviously, we wanted to get a kind of a range of people that we wanted to have in the movie, we didn't just want the young girl, because, when you look, if you see on the streets and you see, the poor doesn't just stick to one certain age group of people, there's a whole bunch of them, so from all different ages. So, we went in casting, let's look at get a few young people, let's get a few sort of older people, and we just sort of ran through a lot of casting, saw a lot of different people, and it just ended up being the ones that we got were just perfect for the roles. that we wanted to, take everyone down.
Mm-hmm. And I read that you guys used like an actual courthouse to film the movie, and like how much did you find that before you wrote the script, or did that kind of shape the script or change the script?
We actually, what actually happened was our production designer knew someone that had this location, and she sort of got in touch with us and said, I've got this really, really awesome location that we can kind of possibly use if you want to come down and take a look. So we hadn't actually wrote anything at all when we went to see the location. We literally just went, okay, let's go down, let's have a little look at it, let's see what we can kind of...
I mean, the plan was really, wasn't it, to sort of get the location first and write a bespoke script rather than trying to find a really nice location, which obviously ends up costing loads of money. So we kind of went down the sort of exploitation route. That's what it is, exploit what you have to hand. So
we got in there and saw what it was like, and saw that it was still had the courtroom, still had the jail cell, still had all the underground stuff. So we literally just sort of pitched them something really quickly off the top of our head, and kind of said, we'd love to shoot something here. We'll be back in a week's time. And we went home and sort of started writing it and came up with the concept after seeing it all, and being in there and kind of going, okay, this could work, this may not work, this will work. Once you're in the location itself, it just sort of comes to life. Once you walk around the place, it's kind of creepy and just had a bit of an air about it. So it's helped the writing, basically,
Yeah, and if you didn't find someplace like that, would you have been able to make the movie?
It's when what I've always I've kind of thought when, making movies and kind of writing our own scripts and stuff is that the locations it's hard to pin down and get a location when you're, dealing with micro budget movies. So, I like to maybe sort of think of the location, find the location first, and then sort of make that around that location. So we probably might not have been able to do it if we didn't have that. It was that location.
I definitely don't think we would have, to be perfectly honest with you.
So.
We literally mapped that location.
Yeah.
And wrote the script to the location. So it's also wrapped around each, one little Jenga piece comes out there, the whole thing falls apart, I would say.
I agree.
And have the people who own the building, have they seen Good Tidings? And
Yes. Amanda Robertshaw, who's the owner of the building, she's kind of been one of our sort of benefactors, if you like. She actually sponsored us to shoot in the location, so we didn't just not pay. We got paid to shoot in the location, if you like. It was a sponsorship, but we did piss her off quite considerably during the production process. I don't think she was quite ready for what we were planning. But she has seen it now, and she's let us screen the movie in there. She's let us do a cast and crew screening, a sort of public screening. So she's sort of really, really bought into it now. Because when we're shooting it, she just sees us, looks like we're messing around, we're throwing blood everywhere. Santa's jumping about the place. She's like, look, these fucking idiots, what the hell are they doing?
What have we done? What have we let loose in our...
Yeah, exactly.
The actual building itself,
mess around.
The building it's not abandoned, you see. It's got a business within that building. So we were sort of had access to a courtroom which was vacant and the downstairs area, but the upstairs area where we sort of had all the, where the homeless had all their living space, that was sort of just behind there was an office where they were working 9 to 5. So it was kind of, we were always being told to shut up because there was lots of screaming and stuff like that. So yeah, we were sort of cohabiting that place with another business, and she sort of runs that business as well. So they were sort of seeing us, as Stewie was saying, kind of looked like we were messing around for 3 weeks. But when they see it in the end, they kind of go, "Oh, okay."
They're like, "Oh my god, this is a movie."
Well done. So we kind of pulled it back once they saw the movie and saw it finished.
Yeah,
we're friends again now.
Yeah, we're friends. We're good.
That had to be pretty cool to have a screening of the movie where it was actually filmed.
Well, yeah, it was awesome. We screened it actually in the main courtroom where the first massacre takes place, and obviously you've seen it, so you know that kind of room is sort of central to the plot. Yeah, we screened it on a big screen, so as the massacre was happening, people were kind of sat in the room that it was happening in.
Yeah.
Which, you know, for me, and it was nerve-wracking to kind of watch the film in front of people, but it was really cool. I think it was uncomfortable for people because you're talking about, you know, actual courtroom seats, which
have the
that
nicest.
sounds really unique, though. I don't know if had that ever been done before.
I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
I hadn't either. It was obviously a big opportunity when she came to us and kind of went, we've got a big screen in here, so you know, if you ever want to play the film, you know, it'd be cool to get your cast and crew. And so we had our cast and crew screening, and you know, everyone. It was nice to be able to show everyone. But a week later, we opened it to the public for 2 days and sort of, you know, got that whole fill for the 2 days, and people came and watched it and. It was awesome. It was just being able to open up that place to the public, let people sit in the actual courtroom where the dead, you know, where the dead bodies are, and stuff like that. They're seeing it on the big screen and they're sitting in there. Yeah, it was a really,
cool
really awesome thing. Yeah, it was really good.
It was exciting.
I think they want to try and do more screenings there, you know. So it's kind of
I think we've kind of lit a passion for that sort of stuff in here now. Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess to answer the original question, they have seen it and they're kind of proud of it, I think, because they were, you know, heavily involved, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were in it. We got a few of them to be in it as the extras. You know, we turned around and went, okay, when we were killing people, we were like, right, we need bodies. So if any of you want to, you know, take a couple of hours off and come down and die, they did. So we incorporated them in. So I think they had fun and. They've seen it and they loved it, so cool. It was awesome.
Yeah. How nerve-wracking is it to screen the movie with an audience? Because you know,
terrifying.
Stu J doesn't give a shit.
No, it was. It was kind of nerve-wracking because you know, it's just you know we see it for what we see it. You know, we made it. We love it.
So many times.
You just you know you can have your family there, and you know everyone knows your family's always going to be. Well, that was awesome. You know, well done. But for the public, for people who you don't know, and you know, we were just turning up to see it, and it was really nice to see how it went down. You know, there was a lot of to say there was a few old people that kind of turned on, older people that turned up to see just inside the actual courthouse itself. And they didn't know what they were turning up for. So, you know, they got to see this hour and a half of, well, you've seen the film and it's a little twisted. And, you know, I was asking them at the end, you know, what did you think? And they were like, yeah, it's kind of ruined Christmas a little bit for me. But yeah, it was good. It was nice to sit in and watch it. So, you know, we kind of won that, I think. It went down really well and people enjoyed it. So it's kind of an experience as well, you know, to have it inside the courtroom, you know, rather than, you know, screen it in a cinema itself. You know, you kind of, I don't know, it's just different being in that scenario of the courtroom and all the memories of you being there and shooting it, you know.
Bizarre.
Watching it and hoping as well that, you know, because we were running this event, so we were hoping that, like, nothing sort of broke.
I was sweating, like, finger beads.
Halfway through, we were all, like, sort of terror. I think the whole terror out of it is going, all right, it's not in a cinema, it's not really 100% controlled, so hopefully it just doesn't stop halfway through and we have to go, sorry, it's finished and I don't know what to do, but it went down a treat. It was awesome.
Did. But, you know, for me personally, like, I hate watching my stuff in front of people. I'm just so nervous about it, you know what I mean? I'm like, every little flaw. And, you know, like I say, Stu J doesn't give a shit, man. He's the guy who actually got me to start finishing scripts and stop being like, it's not ready. You know? Like,
we've all got to have someone that gets us to do stuff. Well, I'm the same, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's why the three of us are together doing this, you see. We all bounce off each other, so make each other do stuff.
It is very nerve-wracking, yeah. I would say, you know, it's kind of feels like the equivalent of going on stage if you've ever been in a band or anything like that. You know, except you're a bit more passive, I guess. But it's still really nerve-wracking, and you almost think like everyone's, that little bit that you didn't quite shoot right or whatever. When it happens, you kind of look at everyone like, everyone's going to look at me.
They're all going to notice that bottle was on the left-hand side when it was on the right-hand side before.
Yeah,
no one's
exactly.
going to care, man. No one's going to notice any of that.
So you just start second-guessing everything.
Good blooper to be on IMDb.
So how did all three of you guys get together? How did you guys meet and start making?
I
stuff?
Was working in a shop called CEX, which is like a games shop where you trade games and phones and stuff like that. I was the manager there, and I took on Stewie, and he came to work with me, and Gio was also worked there, so we all sort of knew each other from there, and we kind of worked together for ages, and we all worked in there, you see, and we have the passion of wanting to be, Stewie was a filmmaker. Stewie's been doing this a lot longer than I have.
Making a lot of shitty shorts.
And we clubbed it all together basically, and kind of went, why don't we do something ourselves? Me and Stewie sort of started the company after we sort of did a project together, and sort of went, let's get some writing done and see what we can do as a team and see what happens and what comes out. And so that's, we sort of met in this business of movies and selling games and DVDs and videos. So, all our sort of passions they all come from the same sort of movie-based place. So that's how we met, and we sort of, Gio's our main exec producer, so he's the man with the money, and he sort of funded Good Tidings, and this brought us to where we are now. And yeah, that's
sort of very serendipitous, really. I don't think we could have planned it. Mm-hmm. It just fell together, and one day we were like, "Holy fuck, man! We've got a company and we've made a movie."
Hello.
Hello.
It was all very quick. It was all. I mean, once we were in that location, we literally wrote the script in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It was 2 weeks because you kicked my ass, Stu. Over this.
Yeah, I was kicking. We had the time frame of how long we could be in there for, and when we had to go in, and when we had to be out and stuff. So it was all within 3 months. We wrote it, and we produced it, pre-produced it, and we were shooting it, and we'd shot it. So it was all so quick and like kind of a little bit whirlwind, and we didn't know sort of what we got afterwards, and it wasn't until we sort of sat down and started building it, and Stewie was editing it, and that we kind of went, oh cool, some good stuff here, and we cracked on, and here we are, and it was out the other day, and
yeah, it's even out now in the States. Or that has to be great news for you guys to get distribution.
It is fabulous to say that's Gio's sort of propelled us into that fear of
100%.
Of getting us sort of out there, basically. But we're made up, man. I mean, it's just a dream come true for.
It's so bizarre. I've got to tell you, it's literally so bizarre.
It really
to be sat here in a little council house in England, going like, and then there's film we made out in America. And like doing stuff like this, coming on a podcast at 2 a.m. to promote the movie. It's like, whoa.
It's a bit of a whirlwind.
Now the reality sets in.
Yeah,
it's still not so. I don't think it's going to check in for a while. I think we're going to be kind of riding on this sort of insanity.
I'm still sure this is like a fevered stress dream, and I'm going to wake up and just still in university.
We're going to wake up. It's like Dallas. We're going to wake up at the end and be like, oh shit, we didn't make the movie. We're still working in this shop.
It'll be the day before you start.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great, and we've got a couple of user reviews from people who've seen it, and it's so humbling to see people that have enjoyed it and watched it and paid for it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That blows my mind. People paying for something that we've made. It's awesome. Really, really is. But as I say, it's still not kicked in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So, we're still sort of mind blown by it all.
How did you decide on the looks of the Santa Clauses?
It's probably more of a question for Stewie, that I reckon.
Can you just? I got 90% of that. Can you just repeat that though?
Yeah, just how did the look of the Santas come about?
Yeah,
Well-
'cause we love those masks. Those were just
Well-
intense.
I actually think it's a dead interesting story, really, because basically how we work is Stu J will come to me with a concept normally, and then we'll start developing and fleshing that out together. So he comes to me one day, and we lived together at the time, and I'm just sat in my room messing about. Probably watching a movie, playing a video game. He goes, "Here's these 3 Santas." And he got links from eBay to these masks and these costumes, and they were just wizard masks off eBay, basically. And I was like, oh man, Stu's concepts are always so fully formed, and it just jumped straight into my head. So we basically bought one set and put them on Stu, took a load of photos, and you could just immediately tell it just popped. So we bought like the full set. We kind of got the people who we knew, we were going to be. So we got Gio, and we got Stu, and we got Liam, who is the big Santa. Got them all together and did a photo shoot. And we started characterizing them at that point. They wear their belts differently. They've got different postures. It was awesome. It kind of all just set in really quickly. Stu knew he wanted to have a limp, like sort of an instep. And we got them on a green screen basically, and they just set into these 3 characters. And I was looking at Larry, Kelly, and Mo, going, this is just, they're brilliant. I loved them. And then to kind of give them further characterization, we gave the masks to our effects guy who cut the beard slightly differently, gave them a slightly different paint job. And as I say, they wear their costumes slightly differently. They have different postures. Stu's got his instep. Gio had his kind of very almost gentlemanly, pose, examining the machete. And obviously Mo's got the big Jason Voorhees. And it just fell together. It's one of those things, it's almost, it didn't need any work. It was just almost ready to go.
Because
that was the first thing that we released, wasn't it? Was the
Santas
photo that we basically, our photographer had sorted for us, and we were kind of, let's see what people think of this, and created the poster, and then that was that, and you started getting kind of a little bit of feedback from people going, "Oh man, they're pretty creepy," and a lot of people thought they were actual effects on the face. They were like makeup job rather than masks.
Yeah, but a lot of people said, "Oh, who did the prosthetics?" I'm like, well, they're not prosthetics, dude. That's a mask. They somehow have this expressive quality to them.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
It's like the still photo. I thought it was like a prosthetic.
Mm.
When you see like just the still photo, I think that's what it looks like.
I think because it's so straight on, isn't it? That you're not seeing the sort of forms of the mask. So I didn't get onto that at first, and then I was like, oh, it kind of does. It looks like they've actually got some form of prosthetics on their face rather than just a tying up mask that goes on their head with a beard and, and hair and stuff.
We kind of manipulated that a little bit in the direction as well, because when we were trying to humanize Curly a little bit, because obviously for people who haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but the smaller Santa's got the kind of story arc, if you like. So we kind of trying to humanize him. So what we did with the other Santas is we would never see the sides of their faces or anything like that. They were the Santas, but I let Curly's face slip out a little bit and his hat come off and things like that, just so you would see with Curly there's a human underneath this. And that was interesting because we used that front on thing, like we'll never see them from the side, was always a thing that we decided. But once we kind of started exploring the story a little bit more, it was interesting to be able to actually manipulate that concept a little bit to get to to tell a bit of story sort of thing.
Yeah, instead of just having sort of three, we didn't want 3 characters that were the same. You know what I mean? The reason that we didn't just have one Santa is because we wanted to make 3 different characters that you could probably go, oh, that's him, and that one's him. You know what I mean? Rather than, all right, they all mold into one kind of Santa that's doing all the killing. And I think that kind of, a lot of people are saying that's what they pick up on. So kind of glad that sort of sold through with all these little ideas that we put in place, and Stewie's direction and the actors obviously themselves putting their little tiny spins and on the characters themselves, because we just delved into it really and kind of went, all right, this is what the character we're going to play, and does it work?
Well, it was nice giving them their own little power struggle as well, wasn't it? They're not just it's us versus them. Mm-hmm. They're kind of them versus them as well. Which I really enjoy playing with that, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah, honestly, I remember when I first saw this still, and that's what made me interested right away, because it really stood out. I see a lot of independent horror movies and stuff, and some of them are better than others, but that right away had me interested. Plus, I love Christmas horror movies. So. But this one really stood out. Yeah,
thank you. That's I'm glad that did. That was sold. That's what sold us. That is literally what sold us. So we were kind of, we love horror movies. We love independent horror movies. So if it sells to us, I'm kind of 80% sure that it's going to sell to everyone else. I'm hoping, and that's why we did. That's why we went for Christmas as well. I know as horror fans ourselves, we love Christmas horror, and we know there is a market for Christmas horror, and we've always wanted to do one. So it was just a perfect fit of me moaning at everyone going, I want to do a Christmas film. Let's make sour
He always gets his own way in the concept, but it's because his concepts are badass, so it's fine.
I get away with that, but they're cool. I really like those characters. It was just so much fun to bring them to life.
Arm soon.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're getting a tattoo of him, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
He's got a tattoo on his face of a Santa.
Santa mask.
Just gonna carve it into his forehead like Manson. But yeah, I remember, I think I've been talking to Stu for over a year, ever since I saw the pictures, oh, you guys are going to come on the show to talk about it. So it's really cool that it all came about.
Yeah, man, no, it's awesome. That's it. It's, from when we got the picture, I'm still surprised since from probably when we started and we put that picture out, a year later, where the movie was, and we were screening it, at festivals before really it was even 100% finished, if I do have to say so, because it was so tight on on what we were doing in the time frame that we had.
We didn't want to have to wait another year, basically.
Yeah, we wanted to get it out for this Christmas, and that was the push when we first started. And as I say, Gio helped us so much to get this out.
Gio, who by the way is clearly his computer's exploded.
Yeah,
I think his computer is either imploded or it's something. But we'll big him up for him. It's fine.
Yeah.
No. Which between Stu and Gio had the candy cane?
That was me.
That was Jop. That's what we call him, by the way, Jop.
That was me. That was me.
I thought it was a great touch, but I have a weird question. Did you get a lot of hair in your mouth from sucking on the candy cane? Through the mask?
We had, how many? Did we have 3 sets of masks?
Yeah.
I think we had 3 sets of masks, I went through pretty much
2 sets of costumes.
The mustache on every single one of them is pretty much gone. I had lots and lots of fairy hair. It was lovely.
Stuff you out, man.
I did though. When we first started, I bought a bunch of real candy canes, and that was the wrong thing to do. It was sticky and it was horrible and it was everywhere. And I went, right, these aren't going to work, man. I need the.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have a hand.
Our effects guy created all the candy canes for us, so I had them in different sizes, different, if they were snapped or if I've been chewing on them, so it was all cool. But yeah, I had a lot of beard.
That was something I'd never seen before, was the candy cane thing. And was that fun to think of, different Christmas ornaments and Christmas things to use, that hasn't been done before?
It was so much fun. Yeah. I love that kind of
thing. That's why Christmas movies rule, because you get to think of these cool, awesome ways to try and dispose of people in Christmassy fashion. But it was. We set off and had fun with that.
We lent on that candy cane a little bit for a bit of sort of story. It's a bit symbolic, really. Yeah. It begins with you get the first kill in the courthouse, and it's in use constantly in various ways until the end, which again I won't spoil, but you know what happens in the end. So it's kind of an important prop, that candy cane. I just thought it was so cool. I didn't just want it to be, oh, he stabs people with it. You know, I wanted to weave that into the story somehow. But yeah, unbelievable fun thinking of ways to weave Christmas into this bleak sort of kitchen sink drama. You know,
I think we wanted to.
Whoa, Gio!
I managed to get my internet working a little bit, but I might cut out in a minute. But I think we wanted to kill somebody with tinsel, but we thought tinsel would never actually be able to, withhold the pressure of being throttled with it.
It would have to be industrial tinsel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'd have to fold it a few times and then get some strength into it. And I thought, well, nah, use something else.
We got some cool stuff wrapping it around the rope.
We did.
Yeah, we did. We
But that was it. I mean, we literally just. But a lot of the props, a lot of the stuff that we had, kind of just came from what we had in our houses that we had for Christmas. So it was like,
it's exploitation, man.
What have we got? What can we use? So
empty your Christmas box on the table and go, how are we going to kill somebody with this?
So all our missuses kind of go, is that my Christmas thing? And you're like, nope. No, it's not.
It's dressing gown.
All over it. It's not. It's
not like that's my grandmother's ornament. What are you doing?
So yeah, no, it was so much fun.
Tons of fun.
You know, it just takes it a little bit out of reality, doesn't it? We've got this bleak drama, and then you've got this kind of fun element.
Yeah, I want to mention that because that's what I really like about one of the things I really like about the movie is, if people just hear some of this, they might think, oh, it's like a silly, horror movie, but it's not because you have like fleshed out characters and it's, it's gritty and everything. But then you have some of the silliness. But I think it really works with the whole vibe of the movie. And what kind of vibe did you always want to have, like kind of a serious movie or?
Yeah,
I mean, definitely didn't we? That was definitely a thing we wanted. Wasn't it?
I think I was going to push for more humor, but it just didn't work out that way, I don't think.
The thing is, right, we came at it from a Assault on Precinct 13 point of view. That was always the initial sort of like, okay, we go from there. And I think it's a juxtaposition, isn't it? That the homeless people are not having a good time. It's bleak for them. It's horrible. It's reflected in their performances. It's reflected in the story. But the Santas are just having fun. So there's like an element of zaniness that sort of bleeds into the seriousness, and that's definitely, I think, at least what Stu and I had kind of always discussed. It's almost like, it's played deadly straight, but there's zany humor in there, and that comes from the fact that these killers are actually just having a laugh. They're playing with their toys.
I think my Santa was the one having the biggest laugh, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
You were the Texas Chainsaw Santa.
I had some people like slap me before I had to go on set and get me all excited in different ways, so I could reflect it in the energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Giovanni, go on.
It was fun. It was just a crazy time, and a lot of it was kind of made up on the spot, which was awesome as well. When we're messing around with each other, and that's how the sort of kind of plays out in the performance as well. Because Gio, I've known Gio for ages, and Liam, who was Mo, the big Santa, I've known him most of my life. So there wasn't just three people that didn't know each other. So we all sort of played off each other. And
there was a lot of trust there.
Yeah, that's how it kind of played out in the movie. So it was kind of cool. All added to it.
Yeah, since we have Giovanni here, I just want to know, Giovanni, when you first put on the Santa suit, did you right away know how you were going to play the Santa? Did the character come about? We dropped.
Sorry, was that to me?
Yeah, we lost Giovanni again.
He's gone. He's gone.
Or he just doesn't want to answer the question.
Yeah, he doesn't want to answer it.
If he repeats it, it cut out for a second.
Oh, no problem.
What did you say?
I was just saying, when you first put on the Santa suit, did you know right away how your personal character with the Santa was going to be?
I think after about a week, actually. My Santa is definitely the most playful and the most animalistic, and I was told that by Stu beforehand, but it didn't. because I hadn't been in the Santa suit before and I hadn't really acted in it, it took me a little bit of time to get used to the character. And by the end of it, I was, it was difficult to come out of it when I went home.
Oh yeah.
The way I was walking
crazy.
and everything, especially some of the
he nearly
scenes.
damaged a few of our performers.
Yeah.
In a obviously a very in a safe kind of way. He didn't really damage anyone, but it was a bit like, whoa, Gio, that was a bit.
Method. It's called method.
Yeah.
Method. That's what it is.
I did tell him beforehand, are you okay with, getting a little hurt? Then we can just get it done in some shots. We don't have to do it over and over again. And they were like, yeah, it's fine. So it was good.
All right.
That's the Toby Hooper school.
I was thinking the exact same thing when he said that.
When I get hit with a bat.
I took a beating in that movie. I took a royal beating.
You did.
The bat hit where she hit me with the bat, that was a full-on swing. It was a foam bat, but it could have really hurt me otherwise. But I just told her, just go for it, and we'll get it done in one go. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep falling over and over and over.
It looks awesome at the end of the day. That's how we took it. Mm-hmm. We took it. We'll take a couple of bruises and we'll take a couple of things like that. Because
here's me kind of going, right, just slap it and just like taking no damage to myself and sitting and going.
Working strong style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that in the script. Look, it says it in the script. We've got to
By the way, the movie the movie looks really good too. It's really well made, and I like the camera moves a lot, and it's which really elevates, I think, an independent movie when you do something like that. So
thanks. I love movement, but I hate movement for movement's sake.
Mm-hmm. There's no shaky cam or anything.
Yeah, none of that. I'm obviously a huge John Carpenter fan. I'm also a big Edgar Wright fan. Actually, the film that made me want to start making films was Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, excellent!
Some incredible, steady cam work in that movie, and it's all motivated by I won't go into that, but it's all motivated by stuff. So, it's. I love shots that develop. You can't always do it, obviously, because of time, money constraints.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
We should probably have a special mention for Shane.
Fortunately,
absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say, fortunately, our DLP, Shane, has a lot of cool kit, and he's got this rig that's kind of like a Steadicam, but not. But it, you can still get some really cool stuff. So we've, that opening shot of the Santa coming out of his house and going to his car and stuff. That's all that big one shot where we kind of pass the rig from one operator to another over a fence and stuff like that. And I just love doing stuff like that because, as you say, it immerses you more. The less you cut. My rule is like the less you cut, the better. Obviously, you have to cut. But if I can do a movie in one shot, I'd probably go for it. Do you know what I mean? And these guys would just be pulling their hair out.
I mean, also, as you were saying, it adds that extra bit of, it's indie, it's independent. We shot it for no money whatsoever compared to most movies, and it just adds that extra little oomph to your look of your movie.
Of course, you've got to reach beyond what you kind of what your budget says. Basically, there's no harm in going for it.
If you can do it, try and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would try it, and if it didn't work, it didn't work. If it worked, we got it. We got it.
I'm not, I think there is a bit of a lost art of especially in like a lot of independent cinema and stuff. People we've worked with, it's just like, all right, we've got this scene, just point the camera at it. It's like, it's a craft, it's an art form. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that you pointed that out because that's something I really worked hard to kind of develop, is that style and that use of movement.
And, I don't want to give out too many spoilers here, but there's some great beheadings, decapitations in the movie. Mm-hmm. One's right at the beginning, so it's not too much of a spoiler. So, and then you also use you make use of the severed head throughout the movie. And what was it? How much effort is it to make the severed head?
I mean, our head of effects is, he's awesome, and it takes a long time to sort that out, especially for doing it with the actors and kind of having to get them in, and then
and on a budget.
Through and on a budget. They have to sit there for hours doing all this casting, and it's. I can tell you that one of them that we didn't like it and sort of freaked out a little bit of being inside the actual case in itself, because if your head is completely fully cast except for your nose holes, and that's all you've got to do, and you're in that for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's kind of a bit scary and painful.
I personally found it quite relaxing.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah, you've had one done. In a weird, that's probably comes out in our weirdness that we don't mind having a cast put over our full face and not being able to breathe. I think my
claustrophobia would set in pretty bad.
It does kick in for a lot of people, and it's sort of basically the more you fight it, the longer it's going to take. So
I get hay fever, my nose blocks up, and I panic that I couldn't breathe anymore, and it just would happen.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I have bad sinuses, and I don't think I could breathe through my nose for now.
No, that's it. It's, it's a bit scary. I mean, I watched Stewie go through it. I was like, no, I'm kind of good with that. Don't bring that on me.
I'm writing in a beheading for you in the next movie, lad.
I'll be like, nah.
And where is the severed head now?
You've got one of yours, haven't you, Stu?
Yes, sorry, I've got. They normally live in with the effects guy, but they seem to do their rounds, and they're in my house at the moment. So we had to shoot a sort of little Q&A video for one of the festivals that we're playing at, and on Boxing Day. So we always put the heads in with us, and we sort of just have them as little props that we can hold, and we like these heads. We had them on display at the screen as well, didn't we? We did, yeah. We had them at the screen.
We actually had them in the dock. We had all the props and the heads and stuff like that.
That's cool, man. I like shit. I like to. The effects are awesome. I love effects. And I love people to see. I love the making of. I love to know how you make movies, and I like kind of showing off all these bits and pieces that we've got. And kind of go, this is, there's a head, there's blah blah blah's head, and there's blah blah blah. That's you can touch it if you want and play with it. It's horrible. It's cool. So they're actually sitting on my shelf at the moment, both of them.
That's years ago we had DC Dupree on the show who gets his head punched off by Jason and Jason Takes Manhattan.
And, nice.
Yeah, and he still has a severed head, and he brings it around with him to conventions.
It's just
of course, it's cool. It's memorabilia, isn't it?
You said going through airports with it. It was great.
Have it in your suitcase. You'd be like, yeah, I open my suitcase. It's fine. Pull out severed heads. But no, it's cool. It's what as a horror fan, what's more epic to have as like your own severed head, on your mantelpiece. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Be like, well, that's kind of what I look like with my head cut off. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, man. I love effects. I'd love to be able to do them. I've just not got the patience that it takes to go in to do stuff like that. It's insane process that takes a lot of time setting up. And I commend all the people that do it. Absolutely, all of them. Fantastic. I mean, we love practical as well. We if we can go practical, we'll go practical. The constraints that you get when it's indie. Time, money, blood, everything costs a lot and takes a lot of time. So a lot of people go, all right, well, we'll just CG a lot of everything. And of course, we had a little bit of visual effects in there as well from that needed just a bit to bump up some of the scenes and stuff like that. But we love practical, and if we can do practical, we'll do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And
always looks better.
The score is great. It's a combination of like you got like the retro music that really makes it have like the 70s 80s vibe, and then also like the Christmas music when it comes on. It's kind of like the classic Christmas jingles, but it's like they're almost like satanic versions of them. And so
I mean, that's our composer, Liam Ashcroft. He sort of always wanted to do, he is obviously Mo as well. He's one of the Santas So he always wanted to do something that was John Carpenter. We love John Carpenter. We love Fabio Frizzi. We love all the 70s, music composers, and that's the way that we wanted to go, wasn't it, Stewie? We wanted and score and mixed with Christmas tunes. We wanted to do something with Christmas tunes that was different.
Yeah, because that was kind of one of the ideas as well, was that like we can add value to the film by using these songs that are well renowned, but they're actually in the public domain. So we can have our own versions of them, and not pay a lot, basically. But that's the exploitation style. It's sort of about adding value where you can. Yeah, and Liam did a great job of incorporating all that into the score as well. We've got our horrible version of Carol of the Bells. I don't know if you recognise that, when the Santas first arrived, that's actually a sort of twisted Gregorian chant version of Carol of the Bells.
Mm-hmm. Kind of freaky and scary and just a bit odd. I mean, and the Christmas tunes we've been asked before, Christmas tunes kind of got this really eerie feeling to a lot of them. So, Liam created perfect versions of twisted Christmas, I kind of call it, twisted Christmas score. That just fit perfectly, I think, with, the Santas and what was happening and the look and the feel of the movie. He nailed it in our eyes, by creating
totally smashed it.
Mixture of 70s and 80s synth and sometimes a bit of rock and
bit of doom metal in there. It was just it's a weird soundtrack. It's unsettling.
Yeah,
I think scores and soundtracks, they make the other storytelling part, that adds to the flavor of everything. And we know it's always that important to have a really good score. Get yourself someone who's a really good composer on board. So, that's where that sort of came from. And when we got it delivered, obviously, we sort of blew our minds when we watched it with it. Because, you can watch a film with no score on and it's not right. It doesn't feel right. None of the punches are there. None of the, it's unfinished. So the minute that you hear it, we sat round when we got delivered and sort of crapped our pants with joy, like how good it was. Because there was no sort of micromanaging of it. He went off and created this score, and a few months later we got it back, put it over the movie, and
voila,
worked perfectly.
Yeah, and I think when you take like a known track and you distort it, so it's like kind of disturbing and all these things, even if you can't pick out like the name of that song, everyone knows it in the back of their head. So it's
of course,
it just really adds to the whole atmosphere of when you're watching it.
Absolutely, and that's it. I mean, it's when you watch the Christmas films, they're loaded with Christmas tunes, the big ones, the ones that everyone knows, and these are really hard to get hold of for us to use as independent, filmmakers. And that's why, when we had the idea of let's mess with them, let's see what we can do with the songs that we can have, and the people will recognize, and it sticks in your head, you'll hum along, you know what I mean? And
it's like totally it adds value, doesn't it? It adds a sense of production value. You go, oh my god, I know that song.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know, Stuart, actually, when I wrote my notes when I'm watching the movie, and I wrote down Assault on Precinct 13, because that's definitely the feel I got when I was watching it.
Awesome. I mean, like I say, it's awesome that you've said that, because that is like, that was sort of day one. This is going to be a siege movie. This is going to be our twisted sort of Assault on Precinct 13, but we're going to try and do our own version of it. So it's awesome that people are saying that, it's got that Assault on Precinct 13 vibe. That's, when you try to do something and then people are telling you it's amazing.
You're like, does it play? Does that work? Does that show? You know what I mean? And when it's awesome to hear that people go, that's what you're trying to do there. And you go, yes, it was. That's awesome.
Unless they compare you to the remake, then take it as an insult. This is my advice. I hate it.
JC all the way, so man. It's JC all the way.
Yeah, this really reminds me of Assault on Precinct 13 from 2000 or whatever. No. Yeah, you don't want that. But who created the posters? Because all the posters are great. Even the newer ones with the machete and everything.
They were done by we had three different people do them. I think really we've got the one with the machete. Was done by a guy called Vidar Auni, and he's Norwegian. that we met, and he basically was that Stewie? Was that the first poster that we did, or was it the Santas that we did first?
I'm sorry, I had some breakage up there.
I think the Santa. I think we did the Santa one first.
Santas were first, yeah.
That was done. By Val
of course. Yeah.
He did the actual photography, so he just created that poster himself.
I mean that was in my living room.
It was literally like next door, wasn't it? Yeah. We just set up the green screen, and then he sort of created it in from just the actual Santas itself. That he logged all the Good Tidings and turned it into the poster. So we ended up, obviously with a few different posters because we met a lot of different artists, and they kind of went, "Oh, I'd love to have a crack at that." Or,
but isn't that the 70s thing again? Multiple posters.
There's like 4 posters, and we've got like 5 different posters, maybe. And we just wanted to get the word out there and create as much kind of art as possible, because I love that. I love these Arrow releases that you get. Blu-rays, and they've got all different types of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
You pull the cover out, and it's got 4 different versions of the poster. I love that, and it's kind of if we ever got a release, that would be something that we would love to do. Is have the different artwork on there, showcasing everyone's work. Mm-hmm. So I think posters are important. And a lot of the new posters of today, they're kind of shit. And like they're the same. They're just the same. They're the same poster again and again and again and again, and you kind of go,
It's the same 4 templates of poster, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, just and repeated. It's cool. It's fine that it happens. But if you've got great artists that and that are happy to come and work alongside you, get it done. Get some awesome artwork out there.
Yeah, I think every poster in the last 10 years for like a mainstream movie is all orange and blue.
It's the same colours, it's the same fonts, there's always a guy with someone else behind them, or it's always that same thing that you go, oh man, that's just like the poster I saw 10 years ago. So they think it independence, so it's probably not going to change really, and that's why independence is so important to get this out. It's the art itself sells with independent. There's no real rules that we have to abide by, or massive executive producers telling us what to.
Yeah, well, that is the good thing about being independent, isn't it? You can kind of do what the fuck you want, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree, absolutely, and that's why we kind of do this. And I know from many other filmmakers and directors and producers, that's why they're in the independent business, because
you get more than 5 million, you start thinking about with 10, 20 million, and then you've got people going, I don't know if you can kill that dog, because people don't like it, and you're like, but like, we want to kill this dog as part of this. That's the real, obviously, but as part of this story, we want this dog to get killed because that'll create an emotional response in our audience, and that's what we're trying to do as filmmakers. Which that's actually happened in the past to us. We wrote something and someone went, don't kill the dog. And we're like, oh, come on, man. He actually said, I think it might be a bit too horrific. And we were like, this is a fucking horror movie, dude.
You don't want your horror film horrific now. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a PG or a U or something, It's a horror film, so...
It is odd that people do freak out if you kill like a dog in a movie, but it's totally fine. Like all these beheadings and
exactly. Yeah, kill 100 people.
I know, man, but it's I get it. It's that I remember watching. Was it I Am Legend? The one with Will Smith and
scene.
and a lot of people were affected by that scene. You know what I mean? So like I kind of think that's what's like ingrained in their memory now, when it's like, can we kill a dog? No. No. Can we kill this cat? No. Well, you can probably kill a cat. That's not the problem. The dogs are off they're off, you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of funny. Don't mind mass people being.
But it is kind of like going like, that might be a bit too funny, and going like, well, this is a comedy. You just wouldn't get that, would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy logic.
You don't want to make them laugh too hard now. So
they might pee themselves.
So, what are all your guys' favorite Christmas horror movies besides, of course, your own?
Probably Silent Night, Deadly Night for me.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of that as well.
It's a classic.
Mm-hmm. And
Stu?
speaking of two great posters, that's such a cool image of the Santa with the axe coming out of the chimney. Stu, what's your favorite Christmas horror?
Ooh, Stewie, do you want to go with that one first?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard me before, but I was saying it's probably Silent Night, Deadly Night for me, the original. It's, as I say, it's just a classic. You've got, and the remake as well I thought was pretty good. But yeah, I would go with the original, Silent Night, Deadly Night for me. It's just got that classic exploitation vibe, and Santa looks fucking so good on screen, killing people. It just looks amazing. So yeah, I would pick that.
I reckon. All right, you picked that. I reckon I'm gonna have to think. I reckon mine's probably
Rob yours.
Black Christmas. Nah, it was either that or Black Christmas. Probably.
Yeah.
Black Christmas is an awesome Christmas movie. An awesome Christmas movie. It literally gets watched the moment it's like December every year without shadow of doubt. I mean, I'd same again. I kind of love the original as well. I think the remake, I think, is pretty fun in its zany kind of 2000s way. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's got some awesome kills in it. They kill people dead well in that movie. They've got some awesome kills, and I think that was probably in my mind to think a little bit when sort of writing Good Tidings, and thinking of, when we write, we watch lots of the films that we're gonna kind of watch, and it's gonna be like, so I think Black Christmas for me, definitely the best one. I think. I don't know if we've got Gio. I don't know if Gio's still around.
Giovanni, can you hear us?
Don't think so. I think he's gone.
No, he's dead.
He's gone. It'd probably be one of them two anyway. But I tell you what, though, I've got a possible new, maybe favorite, as I found a French film, a Christmas film that's like meant to be the precursor to Home Alone, and it's called Pierre Noël or something. It's called, and it's like this little kid who fights off this Santa in his grandfather's mansion, and it's awesome. It's literally Home Alone, and he Home Alones the shit out of this Santa, and it is tremendous. And I literally found it's on YouTube. I found like someone had posted a link on Facebook about it, and I'd never heard of it. And what's more amazing than finding a Christmas movie that you've never heard of? Mm-hmm. So I would, if you can find it, if you've seen it, or if you haven't, try and check it out. It's really fun Christmas movie.
I'd like to check. Yeah, that's one I've not heard of, and like I said, I think I've seen almost all. I even like Elves, which is really horrible, but
Elves. I mean, I love all of them. I love every single one of them. Jack Frost. Tremendous. They've all got their certain love. They get watched every single year for me. Yeah. That's why we sort of, went to basically make a Christmas movie, because we know hopefully if it did well, people are going to want to watch it every year and put it in their lists. And that's a cool thing as filmmakers, for someone to grab their movie out every year and have some twisted fun, really.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Jack Frost it's at Coolidge After Midnight, which is a local theater for us here, and it's in Brookline, and they're showing it for a midnight movie coming up in a couple weeks before Christmas. So
nice.
Yeah. That is awesome. Seeing stuff like that on the big screen, man, that's ace.
Oh, yeah. There's it's cool to watch a movie on your TV, your computer and stuff, but there's nothing like seeing it on the big screen.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we're sort of toying with the idea of basically trying to get a film festival together for next year. Mm-hmm. And around where we are, and it's not really a film festival here. And we know, watching it on VOD is awesome, or watching it on your Blu-ray is awesome, but seeing it, on the big screen, and this goes back to the question from before when we were watching it ourselves, seeing something on the big screen is cool. It's an experience, you know what I mean? I'd love it to see most of my, if I could see all my collection on the big screen, it would be the greatest 10 years I'd probably have to take. 10 years to sit in front of a cinema screen and watch everything that I've got.
One day, hopefully, man.
That's like the dream. That's like what we do when we give up. We give up filmmaking.
A cheap plug too for the website. We have an interview with Robert Brian Wilson, who played Billy in Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's up on the website. Just going.
Oh man, I've got to
Nice.
check that out.
I'm checking that out. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as
I
far
bet
as
that
I
was
know,
awesome.
he might have done since then, but I think at the time was the first interview he had done.
Wow.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. That's a nice little Christmas treat.
Yeah.
Have a mince pie. Settle into that.
Oh, I love that movie though, man. It's so warped.
Mm-hmm.
So warped, that movie. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Have you ever watched the old Siskel and Ebert where they review it? Because they like really get pissed off about it. It's like very fun to watch. Like
I've never seen it, but I know it was quite had a big backlash, didn't it, when it first came out, because there wasn't really any Santa killers knocking around, and people were saying, it ruined Christmas, and I know a lot of the churches all kind of came out and were gutted about it and stuff. So, but I'll have to check that out. But yeah, that's another thing, that little bit of notoriety. You've got Santa. Santa is killing people. That's disturbing. You know what I mean? If it is. He's this, big happy guy that comes around and gives us presents, but we know underneath it's kind of a bit strange. He comes down.
It's a bit dodgy.
He's a bit dodgy. Basically, he's breaking into your house and putting some gift under there. You've got to leave him something, or his brother's going to come out and Krampus is going to kick you out. They're like, it's kind of terrifying if you break it down to an adult.
That is sort of like I said earlier when I was sort of talking about what you can expect. It's kind of that's the commentary we were trying to make. Christmas, like I say, Christmas is cruel to the poor. So our movie's kind of about Christmas attacking the poor.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's sort of twisting this image of Santa Claus, this jolly sort of, this jolly kind of figure that we all know and love, but twisting it to something we all also know it kind of is in the back of our minds. I think that's why he just works so well on screen. It touches something in the psyche, I think.
Giovanni mentioned that his favorite is Krampus, which came out, I think, last year.
I love Krampus. Krampus is fantastic. Absolutely amazing movie. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it too. I preferred his previous movie. I preferred Trick or Treat.
Yeah, me too. But I really like the Jack-o'-lantern, actually. Not Jack-o'-lantern. The Jack in the Box in
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm breaking up there.
Jack in the Box.
Mm-hmm. So, where did the name Two-Headed Snake come from?
It was long deliberating. That's one of the hardest things ever to do, is come up with a name for your company. My God, we can write stories and characters, but when you actually sit down and go, what can we call our company? It took us ages and ages, and it was me and Stewie at first, so we were kind of came at it as, okay, there's two of us, okay, where can we kind of go from there's two of us, and we were like, all right, we kind of don't know, something to do with an animal maybe. Started kind of going through, and I think Stewie came up with, all right, well, we're like kind of a two-headed snake, we kind of bit venomous, we bite, we bite, we've got a bit of a bite to us. So yeah, it was tough though, wasn't it, to try and come up with a name, man?
It was tough. It was tough. So it was the two S's, the two-headed snake sort of thing. Yeah, there's also a line in Suspiria, which we both love, which is, I think she says something like, Sarah, people whose names begin with S are snakes. And I remember I was watching Suspiria randomly, and then it all just kind of came together and went, oh yeah, snakes, two-headed snake, and it just sort of seemed to, Jop liked it, and then that was it.
That was it. It was like, yeah, done. That's it. I'm done. Yep. We've nailed it. That's what it's called. We're going for it. Awesome. But then we gained Geo, and now there's 3 of us, so it's kind of two-headed snake with 3 people in. So, probably maybe should have thought about it a bit harder.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. I like it.
It's just a sting in it. It's a brand. I think it's that it works. It kind of like encapsulates what we want to do with our films.
It does.
Got a bit of venom. They've got a bit of bite.
Now, for people who want to see Good Tidings, now it's going to be at it's still at film festivals, and how else can they see it?
Well, I mean, the sort of kind of getting to the end of the festivals, I think now. So there is a couple left that we are screening in 2017. But you can pick us up on various VOD formats, platforms. Amazon, we're on Amazon, iTunes, Vudu, and the Xbox network. We are looking at getting on Netflix as well. That's just going to take a little bit longer. As I say, we were very pushed for the release. But you can catch them Amazon, iTunes, Vudu, Google Play, and the Xbox network. That's where you can catch Good Tidings for Christmas.
Excellent. And where can everyone follow you guys? Not like at your home, but online.
Come to the UK
When
and
can we
knock
start?
on the door.
Yeah.
I mean, you can catch us. We've got our Good Tidings page, our Facebook page. We've got Twitter. It's just at Good Tidings, at good_tidings. And we've got our Two-Headed Snake Facebook page as well. So that's where you can kind of catch any updates from anything that we do or any of our upcoming projects that we're going to be working on in 2017.
What are some of those projects?
We've got obviously.
Can we reveal anything?
Yeah, I mean it's fine. We've got
I know, who the fuck are we?
We've got a short. We've got a kind of a supernatural short. We wanted to delve into something a little scarier. So we're going to do a little short in the meantime while we sort of prep our possible next feature, which is kind of going to be it's sort of a bit different. We wanted to. It's obviously, once you've made your first movie, we made it. That's all our money. That was everything put into that. We put everything into that.
We literally put everything. That was about run at it, if you like.
It's surprised we haven't put our houses on it and everything, but everything is in that movie. So making another one, making your second feature it's tough. It's you've not got the money that you had beforehand. So, we've done something different. We're going to try our hand at a sort of true crime mockumentary. It is a sort of serial killer mockumentary.
Where we actually are going
probably where we're kind of at the moment. It's not fully developed.
Yeah, we're sort of thinking of we're going to be playing ourselves. It's not fan footage though. It's that I can't stress that enough. It's not fan footage.
Not fan footage. It's sort of the proper the proper true crime documentaries that talk about serial killers and serial murderers and that type of thing. And we've sort of got a really kind of cool story that we want to tell, and we're going to tell it through a mockumentary style rather than sort of running around with a camera.
Shaky cam, yeah. Why have I still got all this camera? I would be smashing this camera over this guy's face.
So yeah, that's sort of going to be our next couple of projects that we're going to be working on while Good Tidings is out and sort of doing its thing.
That sounds great. I'm a big fan of the mockumentary style of the. I forget what the name of it is now. Is the vampire one came out last year?
Oh, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, that was tremendous.
Absolutely. Once if they're done well, I think it's a really good storytelling platform. And we've watched. I'm a massive true crime sort of documentary fan, and we wanted to weave that into a storytelling way that would, be something a little bit different and something that we could, as I say, we're going to play ourselves in it, and it's going to be
it's ourselves investigating a cold case, basically. So it's almost like we're kind of Two-Headed Snake's next project is this investigation.
That sounds interesting.
And, shit happens. We're not obviously giving anything away. And
Right. Yeah,
and that's kind of the way we wanted. We love storytelling. We get to write our own. We get to write our own scripts, come up with our own concepts. Work with everyone intensely in all departments. So we obviously had to think of something and a way of being able to get another feature because we've made one and it's intoxicating.
Oh yeah, it's addictive.
We want to make another one, as soon as humanly possible. So we've come up with this concept which I think we can do and pull off, and I think it could be a really good story to tell and people to have fun with. It's going to be a little twisted, I think. It's going to be definitely a little twisted again, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's
it's interesting though. The documentary style gives you a lot of freedom in terms of sort of how you shoot it. And a lot of the things are taking place in the audience's imagination through interviews, etc. So you can actually write things that you couldn't write in a story that you are telling in a cinematic way because you wouldn't be able to pull it off with a low budget.
you just wouldn't be able to
That's obviously sort of interesting thing about doing something in this kind of way is that you're actually putting images onto the imagination rather than on the screen. So yeah, that's obviously you can tell we've been kind of talking and developing this concept. So I think that will probably be our next one.
Yeah, that'll be the next feature for sure.
Yeah. Well, I really love Good Tidings, and I'm not saying because you guys are on here, and I see a lot of screeners, and some of them, like I can't get through about 20 minutes.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. Thanks.
So,
thank you so much.
Like big budget, we can't get through either.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You guys rule.
Yeah, so when one comes through that I really like, it's I want to tell everyone to check it out, and it's definitely one.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, man.
I mean, as I say, we make this and we just want people to watch it, have fun, enjoy it. And, that's all I ask as a filmmaker. So people just go and enjoy it and have fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to your future projects, too.
Thank you very much. Yeah, us too at this point. I think we're at the point now where we're like, we love Good Tidings, but it's almost like, you have a kid and the kid becomes a teenager and you want to choke it to death. We're at that point with it. We've
kid. Yeah.
Of course, it's time to go. You move out, leave. So yeah, us too, it's exciting time.
Yeah. And I really appreciate you guys staying up till after 3. That's very good.
We would have been up anyway.
Right.
No, but sorry, you were cutting out then. Sorry, I'm back.
I was just thanking you. I appreciate you guys staying up so late to do the show.
Not a problem. Absolutely our pleasure. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's a lot of fun.
Ramble on.
Yeah. I'm sorry about Giovanni having some technical difficulties.
You guys will have to come back next time. You've got your new thing coming out.
Of course.
Oh, that would be immense. Yeah. I mean, this is literally this is the first. It's the first one of these that we've done. So, we've really appreciate, and, we can't get our word out of our movie without things like this, without people putting on podcasts and big casts and watching the movie. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you guys rule.
Hi, this is Ashley Mary Nunes.
And this is Lito Velasco.
And this is Jessica Cameron.
Hi, this is Natalie Montera.
Hi, this is Todd Nunes, the director and writer of All Through the House, and you are listening to Without Your Head Radio.